Sunday Spotlight is brought to you by Bay Area Children's Theater.
Hi everyone, my name is Khalia Davis and I'm the Artistic Director of Bay Area Children's Theater. Welcome to an episode of Sunday Spotlight. This is a show where we get to meet really cool people making art that has a positive impact on their community and the industry at large. Today's guest is one of my dear friends, a Broadway starlet. Her name is Salisha Thomas. Here are 3 things you need to know about Salisha.
Salisha worked at Disneyland for many years as a princess. Her first Broadway show was Beautiful, the Carole King Musical. She started a new podcast called Black Hair in the Big Leagues during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Welcome to the show, Salisha!
Khalia, I love you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yay, you're here. Okay, friends, we're going to just jump right in with a question that I ask all of my guests. Who did you see or what did you see as a kid that inspired you to pursue the arts now?
When I was in 8th grade, I took a field trip from Fresno, California to New York City, and we saw Wicked on Broadway, and the leads in that show were the whole show was so good. I couldn't believe that they were making a living singing and dancing on stage. And then also, there's a woman named Audra Mcdonald, 7-time Tony Award winner, who is from my hometown, Fresno, and she made it. I'm like, oh my goodness. This greatness, Broadway royalty, is from a place where I'm from. Maybe it's possible for me too.
I love that. Yes, when you get to see images of yourself reflected on the stage or in a career that you're excited about, it really helps make you feel like, I can do that too. I love that. And we all bow down to the greatness that is Audra Mcdonald. She stays a legend. Like, she has not stopped being a legend.
Right? I thought it was just beautiful. Me. And in college, they called her Audra Mcdonald. I was like, you guys know who she is? I thought I just knew because she's from Fresno. They're like, it's Audra. Of course.
Yeah, we all understand. So here's the thing, everybody. Spoiler alert. She did make it. Salisha has been working in theater for a really long time. And I believe that there's probably some things that you might have to tell yourself, or maybe even some rituals that you have to do so that you don't get so nervous in front of an audience, right? It's obviously okay to be nervous, but what are some things that you might do for yourself so that you're ready to just give it your all when you go on stage?
Right. It's absolutely okay to be nervous. In fact, it's kind of weird if you're not nervous. That's what they tell us. It's like, if you're not nervous anymore, maybe you're not in the right place. We all get nervous. But it's really important to take some deep breaths and to be present, because everybody in this life, in this career, in this business, we're all trying to figure it out. And when we are all present in the moment, we can listen to the other person. And when I take the attention off of myself on stage, I have so much more fun. Like, if I'm listening to you, Khalia, and I'm like, what's she going to ask me next? What is she going to ask me next? Instead of just like listening to what you're saying right now, like, it's so much better if I'm listening and in the moment with you. That helps me take the nerves away.
I love that. Well, something else that has happened is, unfortunately, we've been going through the COVID-19 pandemic, which has affected our theater industry because it's a place where there's a lot of gathering indoors. And so the government felt that might not be safe for a while, which means that I know Salisha and a lot of my friends were not able to do the main thing that they really wanted to do. That being said, Salisha, you decided to embrace something really exciting about yourself and about other women that you were seeing in our industry. Would you mind talking about this podcast that you started?
Absolutely. Thank you, Khalia, for asking. I started a podcast called Black Hair in the Big Leagues. And so basically I've been on this hair journey trying to figure out, like, what is this on top of my head and how can I love it? Because I grew up feeling ashamed of my hair texture. And it took me years, truly up until a couple of years ago, to realize, wait, my hair is beautiful, but I still did not know what to do with it. And so one of the big reasons I started this podcast was to ask girls who I'm like, I love your hair. Let me ask you what you do with your hair. How do you love yours so I can learn how to love my own? And in doing that, I've started to realize how much freedom comes with embracing the texture on my head and the different styles that I can do with it other than just straightening it. Putting in faux locks, putting in braids, doing updos, wearing it just as is. It makes me feel so much more like myself. And in being myself, I'm able to show up into the world with more love for everybody else because I love who I am.
Oh, that makes my heart swell and feel really warm. Why do you think it's important that we celebrate Black women and our hair in this industry?
Well, for a lot of reasons. There's reasons from like more and more Broadway shows are casting people with their natural hair. And so it's important to know what you have and to embrace what you have. So if you do have to go out there and rock what you got, you can do it with confidence, no matter what texture, no matter what color, what length, you can love what you have. But also representation matters. When we see people on TV or on stage that look like us and they're doing what we think is cool, it gives us the confidence to show up as ourselves too. Who we are is beautiful. And the more we see it represented, the more we send out the message to everybody who looks like us, who doesn't look like us, that this is beautiful and should be celebrated too.
Yes! I just want to do a fist in the air, the end of the Breakfast Club, just feeling really good.
Breakfast Club!
All right, here's our final question. If Salisha at age 9 years old had the chance to produce her own podcast, what would it be called and what would it be about?
It's something that I'm literally starting in a week. It's called The Salisha Show. 9-year-old Salisha would absolutely have a podcast called The Salisha Show. 29-year-old Salisha is like, it's time. And so I've got Black hair in the big leagues, which is super niche. It's for a certain demographic of people. But one thing that I love is to be able to talk to anybody, no matter what color they are, shape, age, size, career. And so the Salisha Show allows me to talk to people of color, people the opposite, no matter I can talk to anybody and we're having great conversations with great people and current events, personal events. We can talk about hair. We don't have to talk about hair and just have a great time with it being inspiring and motivating. That is what 9-year-old Salisha would do. It's taken her 20 years. We're here now.
That's awesome. I love that. I also, as a kid, dreamed about being able to meet cool people and talk about really cool things. And so I also am my 9-year-old self would be so happy right now because she is literally doing the thing that she wanted to do.
Yes, you are. It's really amazing what you're doing.
Thank you. Well, I can't believe it, but if you don't know, it's kind of time for us to say goodbye to our friend Salisha Thomas. But wait! We are not actually done yet because it's actually time for your creative craft. Salisha spreads this message of self-love and celebrating what makes you special through her art as a performer, a blogger, a vlogger, and even soon-to-be author of books. Kids at home, let's get creative by writing a kind note to yourself, one that makes you feel really good about yourself when you get to read it every single day. Put it in a place where you can see it each morning. And after you say it to yourself, you need to strike a power pose. Salisha, can you please demonstrate what a power pose looks like?
Oh, one of my favorite power poses is hands on hips, chest out, deep breath, and a big old smile.
Yes, and hopefully you feel really good about yourself and are ready to tackle the day. Now that you've gotten your creative craft, it's time for you to get creative. Until next time, keep shining, everybody. Bye!